Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'll start talk about I Ching, one of the oldest book in Chinese history. We will discuss three questions. 1. What is I Ching? 2. Why I choose I Ching from many other ancient Chinese books? 3. What is the purpose for us to read I Ching now? Let's get started. I Ching is one of the oldest books. It has 64 hexagrams. I made 64 cards like this. Each hexagram has 6 lines. The line either solid or broken. The solid one is called Yang, and the broken one is Yin. And Yang represents sunshine, active, masculine, hard, and Yin represents shadow, receptive, feminine, soft. Combine yin yang 6 ways and 6 times in all possibility yields 64 hexagrams. Each hexagram has a name in Chinese, so I Ching is a book of 64 hexagrams. What are those hexagrams for? In recent 2000 years, most people think those 64 hexagrams are for the fortune telling. Famous Chinese scholar in Song Dynasty named Zhu Xi says so too. About 900 years ago, he wrote a book, Zhou Yi Ben Yi, can roughly translate it as the original meaning of Zhou Yi, or original meaning of I Ching. His book describes the detailed steps for divinations. I Ching has been introduced to Western world since 19th century. It was translated as the Book of Changes. I have 2 copies of English translations. One was translated by James Lair. It has subtitled as The Ancient Chinese Guide to Wisdom and Fortune Telling. This one. It has the yin-yang images in the middle of it. It was initially published in 1882. The other is translated by Richard Wilhelm from Chinese to German. Carrie Baines translated from German to English. It has the Chinese character Yi on it. This is good. The first edition was published in 1950. The third one, the last edition, was published in 1967. And it was printed 27 times. Compared to James Lair's book, Wilhelm Baines' book, it's not only translated the text from Chinese, but also added more explanations from Wilhelm's research. Both books are good. I will use them as my references. But you do not need to read those 2 books for my presentation. Of course, you can if you want to. My main resource is Zhou Yi Zheng Yi, it can be roughly translated as correct meaning of I Ching or orthodox interpretation of I Ching. This book was compiled under the command of Emperor of Tang Dynasty, published in year 651. It's over 1300 years ago. The compiler or the author named Kong Yingda, he is the grandson of Confucius, actually, 31st generation's grandson of Confucius. This is also one of the earliest texts of I Ching in Chinese print. You absolutely do not need to read this one yourself. The purpose of my channel is to bring this I Ching to English world again, and this time from a new angle, a new perspective other than fortune telling. Now I answered my first question. What is I Ching? It is a book of 64 hexagrams. I think one of the book has the whole page dedicated to this. Let me find out. Yeah, here. 64 hexagram. The second question is, why choose I Ching from many other ancient Chinese books? Last time I proposed the second renaissance for new thinking in order to survive in a post-technological era. Under this background, I chose I Ching. The reason actually is quite simple. I Ching is the root of other influential ancient Chinese thinkers. The most influential Confucianism was influenced under I Ching. Actually, Confucianism is the practical side of I Ching. That is, practice of I Ching in social engineering, guiding social relationship among people, forming social governance and structures. As I mentioned a while ago, Zhu Xi wrote the original meaning of I Ching in Song Dynasty about 900 years ago. He is one of the greatest Confucianists in the history. In his book, Zhu Xi emphasized that I Ching was the foundation of Confucianism. If we want to seek origin of Confucianist wisdom, we have to go back to I Ching. Taoism is another important ancient Chinese philosophy. Taoism is also rooted in I Ching. Actually, Taoism is on the theoretical side of I Ching, while Confucianism is on practical side. While I Ching was translated into English as the Book of Change, it is not wrong, but only 1/3 of what I means. I Ching is the book of I. I has 3 meanings. First, I means easy, made things easier to understand. The whole I Ching uses 64 hexagrams for the complex university, including everything. That is really made the world affair easy for human beings to understand. Second, I means changes. The translated name, the Book of Changes, captured the second meaning of I. Basically, 64 hexagrams are not static. Each line in the hexagrams represented a state of changes. The third meaning of I is much deeper. It is no change. While a hexagram represented the image of changes, there are something not changed under the surfaces. Taoists call that Tao. That is why a Taoist is not the chosen one, because it is only 1/3 of the I Ching. In other words, in order to understand the Tao, we have to go back to I Ching. It is also the source of Taoist. That is why I choose I Ching. Hope we can get inspiration from it, get some raw materials to build the new thinking in the second Renaissance. That brings us to the next question. Our last question is, what is the purpose for us to read I Ching now? The simple answer is, we cannot trust AI to read I Ching for us. Eventually, AI will understand most of books, but I Ching is a few books AI cannot understand completely. Therefore, we need to read it ourselves. The purpose to get those things beyond AI can understand, I call it meta-intelligence. If we read I Ching for its divination, for fortune telling, we really can just leave it to AI. That is, AI will be able to get the intelligence of I Ching and perform fortune telling for us. But AI will not be able to understand the meta-intelligence of I Ching, the intelligence of intelligence of I Ching. Why? Because the meta-intelligence, the intelligence of I Ching, is not scientific. It is not logic. It is not under the Bayes formula. Therefore, the purpose for us to read I Ching is to reveal the meta-intelligence of it. The meta-intelligence from I Ching will become the building blocks of new thinking in our second Renaissance. How come? The meta-intelligence of I Ching was not written in the text of I Ching, so the AI cannot figure it out using syntax or semantic analysis. Confucius dedicated himself on I Ching in his 70s. He made a note on I Ching in Chinese as 书不尽言，言不尽意. That means what is written in the book was not all can be speaking. What we can speak is not all we mean. That is, there are something beyond language expression. Our purpose is to discover those meanings that were not written in the text of I Ching at the time I Ching was written. We call it meta-intelligence. Is it difficult to find the meta-intelligence of I Ching? It depends. If we read I Ching from our scientific critical thinking, it is difficult. If we open our minds, read I Ching like a child, it is easy or even obvious. So we have to forget our lifetime training on math and sciences, at least temporarily. I know it is not easy, but we can try. We can do it. If the intelligence of I Ching is the oracle of divination, the meta-intelligence is why it can provide oracle of divination, why it can do fortune telling. That is a simple fundamental thing of I Ching, the no change side of I Ching. We cannot use our scientific terminology here because they are not. Meta-intelligence of I Ching is the intelligence to make I Ching, intelligence of I Ching. Please subscribe to my channel and we will read I Ching together. It will be a long journey. On our journey of exploration of I Ching, we will discover the meta intelligence through its intelligence. Our rewards are a different ways of thinking, an intelligence at higher level of AI by which we can control AI. Next time, we will get started on I Ching. Bye now.